Okay, hello and welcome everyone to yet another soul-searching conversation with Sanam. I'm Sanam Lalwani, and I am so grateful to be on this platform with all our friends and family who have joined today. Thank you. We have amongst us my lovely co-sevika in Palvihar, a beautiful soul, Bindhu Unny. Hi, Bindhu. How are you? You're muted. Let me see.
Hi, Sanam. Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you. Great. Okay, so Bindhu is an executive leadership coach, educator, and facilitator. She has 20 years of global experience working for corporates in various high performance roles. During the course of her corporate career, she realized that she loved connecting with people and enjoyed the process of motivating them to step out of their comfort zone, to realize their full potential, or swadharma. Bindhu conducts virtual monthly workshops called Design You 2.1, which I attended once, and it enabled me to pause and think about what it is that is most important to me in life. She has many qualifications and is doing a lot more projects, which is contributing to making this world a better place for us to be in. So thank you, Bindhu, for all the great work that you have been doing.
Thank you.
First off, I wanted to tell you that I was very surprised to learn that you are also a qualified engineer. And it is so funny that my earlier two speakers were also engineers before they found their true calling. So I wanted to know what got you to switch from corporate to what you are doing now.
Okay. Sanam, first of all, that was such an awesome introduction. I'm just honored and also deeply humbled that you even considered calling me here today. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That's a very interesting question that you've asked, that your last two speakers are also engineers, and then what happened? I think at some point in our lives, and maybe everybody will relate to this, we just kind of follow what everybody does around us, not really knowing what we want to do or what is our true interests or calling or whatever you call it. So we just follow, thinking probably if everybody's going in a direction, maybe that should be the right direction. And you just keep walking that path. And I guess I was just like I was just one of them, and I just kept walking until something kept feeling that it's not exactly what I want to do. But I could not pinpoint what it was, or I was in that kind of space. I could not define it, but I knew that I wanted to do something. And then I obviously went into the corporate career. I was successful. I was happy. And then somebody stopped and asked me, "What's your dream?" And that's what kind of stopped. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, the very fact that I had to stop and I did not know the answer straight off kind of puzzled me. I was like, okay, don't I know it? And that triggered a completely different track where I wanted to really find. At that time, I called it "What's My Dream?" because that's what started the whole spark. But then I realized that dream is within me. It's not somewhere out there. It's not something that everybody else is pursuing. It's something that I need to find out. And that's when I started exploring what I want to do, and I explored different things, dabbled with stuff, and was okay with it. It was not like, oh, you're doing one thing and you should not be doing anything else. And began to find out the different interests that I have, began to sense what's happening within me. when I do something, I could feel that I felt different. And I was like, that's what I want to do more of. And something else probably felt more like work, and I had to do it because I had to do it. So I
Yeah.
kind of began to differentiate these things. And then I realized there were more people like me. I wasn't the only one. So there were so many who were walking this kind of path where they were just walking and everybody's walking. So you walk and you want to find something and you don't. And then I said, no, 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 I want everybody to find that, what I'm kind of feeling like. I want to love what I'm doing. And then I decided to start doing that for more people. So what I now do is I really help and work with people to find out, I call it inner potential, I call it finding your dream, finding yourself, finding basically that thing that sparks you when you wake up in the morning, and you want to wake up even half an hour earlier because you want to do more of it.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's what I do
Yeah.
in very simple terms, that I
Yeah.
kind of.
I remember you asking us that question when I did your workshop, actually, that if you didn't have to think of money, or if you didn't have to think of anything, what is it that you really want to do? So you do get everyone to really pause and think about what it is that, they're doing in life.
Yeah,
And
and then
whether
you
this is,
realized at that time when we asked that question that you really needed to stop, right? It was
yeah,
like it doesn't come immediately. You need to stop and start digging, and you're still
yeah,
digging just a scratch. I still believe it's just a scratch, and there's so much more that we want to do.
yeah,
Uh, and it's just give that time. So that's what I kind of help people do, and I just enjoy seeing that spark in the eyes
that's
when I know that's I'd hit the spot.
yeah, that's beautiful. So that's
Yeah.
good. Your family must have been also supporting you throughout, right? That to
Yes,
make that
yes and
change.
no, because they were like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Oh, that's
I
so
don't get
great.
it. But then
Yeah,
when they start seeing more smiles and I want to do more of it, and it's not like,
yeah,
"Oh, it's another day," or "Can't wait for
yeah.
the weekend." Those kind of things that I would keep saying, and I'm like, "No, no, no, I don't mind. I want to do more." That's when I think the shift happens. I think it was what they saw in me more than what I was doing.
Yeah, yeah. They saw
Yeah.
that happiness and
Yes.
the glow. That's so great. That's so great. So then, so can you tell us a little bit about what projects you have started since the pandemic? Because I know you got very inspired to start up a lot of things in this whole 1 year. And how has this helped people who have been part of your journey?
Yeah, the pandemic, I think, kind of made all of us stop and kind of wonder what's going on. And I was also one of them. I was like, okay, nearly a year and a couple of months. I was like, what is this? What's going on? And it was like something just changed completely
Yeah,
overnight. And when I would talk to people, there were some people that really inspired me, and I realized suddenly that we were all in behind closed doors. We were like within our own spaces, and that connection to people became so important, even more than ever before, because we
yeah,
began to give so much more importance. Before, it was taken for granted, right? Yes, I'll meet you for coffee, and it doesn't
yeah,
happen. Maybe a week goes, and then a month goes, and we keep saying, yeah, yeah, we'll meet up. But suddenly that connection became the most important. He said,
yeah.
I want to connect with people, I want to talk to people.
Mm.
And every time I spoke to somebody and had a meaningful conversation, something switched on for me. It was an idea in that whole dreary bit of, I don't know what this pandemic is, I don't understand it, I see the paper, nobody got it. But talking to people kind of sparked something.
Mm.
And that's when I said, hey, I want to, if I'm getting inspired, I'm sure that other people who want to get inspired too. And
Yeah,
that's how I started Inspiring Conversations last year, April 2020, when we were just fresh into the whole pandemic, not knowing
yeah,
what's going on.
yeah,
Uh, and so that was my way of just bringing inspiring people despite or in spite of what was going on and the chaos going on around.
yeah,
So that was all about touching on how can we work through the chaos that was going on.
yeah,
And then earlier this year, when 2021 came up, I realized that as we continue with this whole phase that we are in, we thought it was a month. I mean, frankly, I thought it was a month, couple of
yeah.
months.
We
I'm like,
weren't
oh,
sure how long it's going to take.
yes, don't
We just
know.
thought, okay, 2020, and that's it. Like, We thought by the year end, okay, 2021 means new year, everything is, back to normal, but
Absolutely. Did we
not.
think that? So then I realized, oh, this is here to stay for a while. I
Mm.
don't know how long. None of us know how long. We have all kinds of theories. But the point then became that we started facing newer challenges, right? It was not
Yeah,
a temporary thing that we just had to kind of figure our way
yeah,
overnight. But now it was something that we need to kind of probably redesign our thinking. The
yeah.
old ways no longer work. I mean,
Works.
one of
Yeah,
the things is work from home
yeah,
and distance learning. All of these new things started coming up, and it's about how do we redesign what we are facing on a daily basis. The masks and social distancing and so many new things have come, right, in the last
yeah.
one year.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what happened is I realized we have to reevaluate our skills and our way of looking at things. And that's what started the Design You
Design you. Yes. Okay.
2.1, which is basically redesign yourself for 2021.
Okay.
And there we look at real topics we that get you to stop, pause, and look at things like your values.
Yeah.
What are my values? What is it that what's important for
What
me?
is important?
Yeah,
Exactly.
what is important?
Yeah.
And then time management. Now, this is something we've struggled all the time. Like
Yeah.
from time immemorial, books have been written, time management. But suddenly, we're like in having Zoom fatigue. Kids are on screen, we
Yeah.
are on
Too
screen,
much. Yeah.
everybody's in every room. And then suddenly, I'm like, okay, there's so much more pressure and there's so much more to be done,
Yeah.
interestingly. So,
Yeah.
how do we
Actually,
manage that?
when you're at home, you feel like, oh, I'm just at home, but actually, we end up doing so much more
Correct, correct. So
than
then
we
how do you
realize.
correct. So how do you tackle time management in this new scenario? So we tackle that topic. And then emotional agility. What kind
Mm.
of emotions all of us are facing at this
Facing.
stage
Yeah.
is not funny. I mean, these are new definitions, these are old definitions, but they have a new kind of an approach that we need to be able to work with our feelings, the feelings
Yeah.
of fear, uncertainty, what's going on? So how do we go through this and
Yeah.
not just bottle it one way that people do it,
Do
or
it. Yeah.
second just brood about it like, oh, I wish these things didn't happen, or
Didn't
I
happen.
wish I could go back. I mean, those are two ways. But then what do we do? Can we stop and look at what can we create in the future, and what do I need to create that?
Mm.
So that's all about this whole design you 2.1. And we kind of I really take the topics that are needed. Like this year, this month, we're doing art of listening.
Okay.
How do
Wow.
we listen? Now, this
Yeah.
is we hear all the time. We keep hearing, people keep talking,
Yeah.
people keep talking, but are we listening?
But how do we listen? That's another full topic. Yeah. On
Yes,
its own.
yes. So,
Wow.
and listen in this new way of lots of people. We connect with family, friends, work, all online. So the
Yeah.
listening still remains the same, but it's different. It's still different, right? So the same skills, but how do we kind of have a different angle to it?
Angle. Okay. Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
that's what I started. And another thing that parents face with
Mm.
kids is over the last year, lots of parents have got into distance learning, and the
Yeah.
kids' education has been right in front of their face.
Face.
It's in a completely different
I know
way.
the parents have had to learn so much also, right? Yeah.
So much like
Understand.
constant.
Yeah.
Yes, understand what's going on, and figure out whether kids are actually learning or are they switching and just distracted somewhere else. How
Yeah.
do you help them? So there is a bit of helplessness that comes in at some
Yeah.
moments. Like, how do I do this? Like, I haven't
Yeah.
learned
Especially if you have
online.
more than one child, if you have two, three kids at different ages and they all need your help, how do
Yes,
you do
yes.
that online?
Correct, correct. And they're always there in front of you constantly. So, how do you
Yeah.
dabble with all of these things?
Yeah.
Became more like not a parent, but how do you enrich the child's journey
Mm.
even through all of this chaos? Yes, things are going on. Yes, the world is going through a change. But how still, as a parent, how do I enrich their learning journey?
Mm.
It's a very different way for us to look at it. And it's
Yeah.
not parenting, but it's about enriching the journey.
Their journey.
So that's about integrated learning at home. So that's based
Wow.
on some research on multiple intelligence by Howard Gardner. So there we kind of really expand, and we work like the community is
Yeah.
a set of engaged parents. We work
Wow.
together and deep dive on these, like visual intelligence is what I'm doing this week, on what is visual intelligence. Am I visually intelligent? How do I activate my child? How do I play
Yeah.
with all of this with my child? And
Wow.
still and both growing, right? It's not about us teaching and knowing everything. It's
Hmm.
about us growing with the
Growing
child.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
that's
that
another.
really, yeah, that really brings us to the topic of the day.
Yes.
The only certainty is uncertainty. And how do we navigate this for us and our next generation? So it is really, what exactly is the only certainty is uncertainty. It's like a paradox, like, what does that mean? It's just too much of uncertainty in the
Yes.
statement itself.
Isn't that the only certainty that we have right now?
Yeah, really.
So this is because in the pre-COVID times, I think we were very used to a certain kind of living, right?
Yeah,
We knew our daily routine. We knew our weekend and weekdays. We
yeah,
kind of knew our monthly routines. We knew our summer holidays. We knew
yeah,
our breaks. We kind of knew all of this, and we would work within these dimensions, right? We had a
yeah.
certain amount of planning,
So like,
and we
yeah,
and we began to thrive like that, all of us,
yeah,
in some way or the other. But suddenly, that world that we knew
yeah.
completely changed.
Is no more the same.
No more. So now it's become like we don't know tomorrow, right? We
Yeah,
really don't know. And I'm really exaggerating that to make a point,
mhm.
because we really truly don't know certain things that are happening
That
today.
are happening.
We take certain decisions saying, hoping that things will be okay,
Yeah,
but we don't know.
yeah,
uh, and constantly that what's coming up, and this comes up in different ways for all of us. It could
mm,
come up like a fear of unknown. It could come tired of this uncertainty. It could come as a fatigue, like, oh my god, how long is this going to go
going
on?
to go on.
So it comes up as different ways and different expressions for adults, children. It's across the board, right?
Yeah,
We all can
because we're
relate to some
all
bit.
going through these uncharted times.
Territories, yeah, yeah. And what I feel is the ones who are going to get through this whole phase are the ones who are going to be okay with living with some amount of uncertainty.
Okay, so kind of
Yeah,
like surrendering or
yes, just being okay with it. And this doesn't come by default. This is a skill that we need to learn. We
okay,
really need to learn this. Like, for
yeah,
example, Sanam, let me take a fictitious situation where I suddenly say everything that we knew until a second ago, we're going to delete. All
yeah,
right. And then for the next 1 hour, we're just going to be surprised. I don't know, something. I'll turn
yeah.
up something. And think about it. Would you be comfortable?
Just thinking about it is getting me stressed a little bit, but
Yeah, yeah. So we're not. We're not used to this,
we're
right?
not that comfortable with
We're not. We're
every
not.
minute being an unknown.
Yes.
Yeah,
Imagine I say your home will change, your hairstyle will change, your food will change. I'll take you to a different place. No, we can't. There will be stress. While I say it, I can feel it in my body. I'm like, oh my
yeah,
God, no, 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 no,
yeah.
no, no, no. Change certain things, but other things
Yeah,
not.
not everything.
Yeah. So the key thing then is to be very comfortable, and that comes with being present right now,
Mm,
like being okay with being just here
yeah,
and comfortable with not knowing what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, next week, next month, like a certain amount to kind of bring that consciousness there.
okay.
Yeah, and that also with with our family. So we
Yeah.
can be pretty gamified. It's not such a super serious thing. It's about gamifying it for the family in terms of saying, okay, I don't know what we're going to have for dinner, for example, or I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Or when children usually meet friends or whatever, they say, oh, do you need to go in 1 hour? Haven't you heard that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have only 2 hours. Bring the attention to the child, say, okay, you have 2 hours. What are you going to do right
Gonna do.
now?
Yeah.
What are you going to do right now? And keep asking that, so that for them also, it's not about, oh, it's so boring, only 1 hour. It's so they're already tired of, oh no, it's only 1 hour, and they go into that. But more
Yeah.
like,
That.
what are you going to do right now? So
Yeah.
kind of gamify it in different ways for yourself and
Okay.
the whole
So like make
family.
it fun, like bring a fun element to it.
Yeah, bring a fun element, and then and be okay. Oh, what are we going to do this weekend? I don't know. We'll see it unfold. Simple. So and you be okay with it as well. And ask
Yeah.
your children to surprise you. Say, I don't know what we're going to do, but
Yeah.
surprise me and let's see. So they
Yeah.
kind of when you do this, it kind of you're okay with not knowing every
Every
single
single
thing.
second. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that kind of just brings in that fun, and it
Mm.
brings in that element of acceptance, whatever is.
So that's a nice little exercise you can do with the kids. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes they might enjoy it. Sometimes they might say, no, this is not what I wanted, or
Yeah.
this is not what I expected. No, I wanted pizza, but you got this, and whatever. But then accept it, right? It's okay.
Yeah.
So just bring that as a culture for them
For
to
them. Yeah.
be okay with it, because this is the world that they are growing in.
Yeah.
And today we are having these uncertainties. We don't know what they're going to face. But I think just being okay with it
Yeah.
is, I
Yeah.
think, something that we are responsible for to a certain extent.
Yeah, because I think we brought up our kids, in such a way that they know what their next meal is and they know exactly, or we ask them, what do you want? And we just follow what they say sometimes. So
Yes.
this way they just have to sometimes. I think in the olden days, it was more that, okay, everyone's going to eat this. So, you have to eat it or you have to do it this way. But nowadays we tailor everything to whatever the kids
Yeah.
want. So I guess it'll be tough for them to deal with this type of uncertainty as well. But
Yes.
I
Yes. So
guess,
sort of,
yeah,
let's do it for them. Like, kind of work with them. So we're working on
yeah,
ourselves and we're working with them.
yeah, that's true. Because, yeah, like how we mentioned earlier, like you had mentioned on your Insta, that we are in uncharted territory and uncharted times, which means none of us has ever encountered a time like this. As the pandemic has challenged the world during the current times, the only thing we have right now is the present moment, exactly what you said. So,
Yeah.
how does that make you feel actually? Like, are you okay with it the way it's happening? Or did you have some resistance? Or do you feel by doing the workshops, you're able to accept it better now?
So I did feel, of course, we all feel resistance. Like, this is not easy,
Yeah,
right? What's going on right now. So it is a way to kind of remind myself as well, with all of these things that I do on a daily basis in small ways.
yeah,
Um, and of course, to talk about more of it, because I think we need to raise consciousness in general with
yes,
people.
yes,
Because otherwise, a normal conversation sounds like, oh, I'm tired of this. Oh gosh, I wish we could go back to normal. This is a normal conversation.
yeah,
And if more of us start looking at it and saying, okay, we get it. It's not about saying everything is perfect. No, no, not at all.
of
I'm
course.
not saying that. But looking at it from a slightly different perspective, because
Mm,
we have the choice. We
yeah,
can stand and say that it's terrible, it's horrible, this is not the way it's supposed to be. Or we can say, all right, this is what it is right now.
mm,
What can we do? What can we do for ourselves? What can
yeah,
I do for my family? How can I be that beacon of light, right? To
mm,
say, okay, this is what it is right now.
yeah,
Now what can we do?
yeah.
So kind of just bring that, because I think most of us need it. Our families need it, our friends need it. So why not be that?
Yeah, true. It's true. And we really have to work a little bit,
Yes, it's hard work. It's
consciously.
hard work.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
need to bring that in. And as you start working and as we start working with each other and talk to each other in this way, it's just going to be easier so
Yeah.
that you're not the only one in the boat talking like this. More of us talking,
Yeah,
right?
more and more people are getting aware and more want to do something about it, to raise the
Absolutely.
consciousness. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's so great that you're doing so much work with a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's great. It's really great. And you also said something very, very powerful. And in that, you said in the midst of creating history, and it is our responsibility to strengthen the people around us, but that can only happen if we cultivate strength within us. This is such a profound way of looking at things. And I was hoping you can expand a little bit more on this, because it's really us creating history. It's quite a big thing.
Yes, yes, we are in the midst of history, whether we like it or not. We are in
Yeah.
the middle of we are in the middle of that. So imagine many years from now, this is going to be spoken as a moment in the whole evolution of humankind, just like industrial revolution, agricultural revolution, all of those revolutions that have happened, and the pandemics and the world wars. This is all part of history, but every time something has happened,
Yeah.
human race as a whole has only evolved. We've only done
Yes.
something to adapt, to evolve, to get
Mhm.
over that, and we've always progressed, right? We never go back and say, oh, I wish I went back to being a farmer, or I
Yeah.
wish I went back. We don't talk like that. We
Yeah.
talk about, okay, now
We're
what, now
quite
what.
resilient, actually,
Very,
more
very,
than we
very.
think we are. Yeah.
Absolutely. This you're bang on, Sanam. So
Yeah.
more than we think, we are resilient.
Yeah.
So then when we are going through this right now, and it's going to we are in the midst of the history in making. So do we want to be part of those farmers of the agricultural revolution who or the hunters gatherers who said, no, 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 we shouldn't farm, we should just continue to hunt? Or do we want to say, no, let's progress, let's make those machines, let's get move forward?
Yeah.
So human race is going to evolve. Do we want to be part of it?
Yeah.
Or do we want to get kind of be like, oh, left behind? Is
Yeah.
again the choice we make. And with technology, a lot of things have enabled us.
Yeah.
It has been an enabler, and I'm so grateful for a lot of things that are
Yeah.
happening. So it's going to be spoken about in a
Especially
couple of
like with the Zoom today and stuff. I never
Yes.
thought, I never imagined I would be sitting here on a Zoom call with you or with anyone, and,
Yeah.
connecting, and then connecting with all our audience today also. It's just been so nice. I
Yes.
never imagined. So there are upsides to this whole
Yeah.
pandemic. And of course, there have been a lot of, things that have happened that have been very tough for people. A lot of
Yes.
people have gone through stuff. But I mean, at least whatever we can do one by one to help people and to,
Yeah.
raise this consciousness out of fear, I think, because
Yes.
there's just
Yes.
too much fear that's been created. And
Yeah.
hopefully that can dissolve a little bit. And
Correct, correct. And it's about, like you mentioned, each one of us talking to one more person and then
yeah,
picking that one person up from wherever they are. Because what's going on is real out there.
yeah,
So we need to be able to like find that strength, like I mentioned earlier,
yeah,
just find that within us so that it's not only for us, but through that strength, we can give it to somebody else, right?
yeah.
One more person can
Just
be
one more person also.
and
Yeah,
just one person. And it's not about going out there and talking to thousands, but even if
yeah,
it's your own family, your own friends,
yeah,
that's how we will raise one person at a time. So that's where
yeah,
I feel it's very important for more of us to start finding that strength,
yeah.
so we can give that to others
Pass
who
it
need it.
on. Yeah,
We all need it.
empower people. Yeah,
Yeah.
so true. It's amazing. It's just amazing talking to you. I just feel like even now, hopefully, with all our viewers, we are able to have some people feeling better, even just
Yeah.
talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah, and if this can inspire even one person to step up and kind of look around, that'll be just great. And it's great work that you're doing here, Sanam. That you're actually
No,
bringing
it's
this.
just a beautiful platform that, we
Yes,
were able to find. And
Yeah, yeah.
It's funny how we even met actually, right? This is
Yes, that's an interesting story, isn't it?
but yeah, so I guess it's just really good to connect. But also I wanted to know, like, if you have any, tools that can help parents contribute, because we are, navigating through this new world. And if there are some tools that you could help us, can give us, so we can also use them when we are feeling stressed. And
Yeah, when we're feeling stressed or people around us or kids,
yeah,
one thing I'm going to bring that is, again, I think we need to simplify things. So remember before the call, what did I ask you, Sanam? How are you feeling right now?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How are you feeling right now? I'm going to ask you that question. How are you feeling right now?
Right
Not
now,
not
I'm
20
very
minutes
happy.
ago.
No, right now I'm very happy to be in touch with you.
Okay. All
To be
right.
in touch with so many of all of you all, actually.
Yes.
It
And
just
what
makes
else?
me happy. Yeah.
Happy. And what else?
Um, just just grateful for life and for all that life has given, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did that feel when we checked in? I checked in with you.
That yeah, of course, when I checked in with you, I was a bit nervous, and of course, every few minutes you do keep changing.
Yeah.
So there were times when I was feeling anxious and nervous and a little bit stressed, but at the same time I was excited to
Yeah. Yeah.
talk to
And
you. So
so this is something that we can do very simply. And it's not about asking, how are you?
yeah.
It's about, how are you feeling right now?
Okay.
What are you feeling right now?
Right now. Okay.
And it could change. Just like you said, 25 minutes ago, you were like, oh, no, 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 I have this, or I have. And then as we talked through it, it
Yeah.
changed, it
Yeah.
switched.
Yeah.
So it might seem very simple, but it's about training us to
Mm.
find out multiple times in the day, how am I feeling right now? Just ask yourself. And we have a vocabulary of around maybe 50,000 words that describe emotions.
Yeah.
And I could feel happy right now, and I could feel exhilarated in the next 5 minutes. I could feel scared. I could get frustrated. So there are so many words and vocabulary for the
Yeah.
emotions. And we just get stuck with happy, sad, um, angry, fearful. We kind of get stuck with 4 or 5 for
Yeah.
ourselves and for our children. I think this is very, very critical even for our children, because they're now in a world where expression is very less. It's
Okay.
okay to say, it's okay,
Yeah.
or it's boring, or it's fun. That's their vocabulary. Like,
Yeah. Or
yeah, fun,
whatever. It's
or
like
whatever.
whatever.
That means really nothing to
Yeah.
them or to us. And if
But there's a
we,
lot going on actually deep
yes,
down, right? There's a
absolutely.
lot of emotions going down, but it's being
So
masked actually.
totally masked. So
Yeah.
if we can kind of role model and say, it may seem really weird if you turn up one morning and ask your child 10 times a day how you're feeling, but it's about subtly bringing it in the environment.
Okay.
Like I could say, oh, you know what, right now I am feeling very nervous about something.
Yeah.
Like, be very vulnerable, and sometimes you really need to be there for your children to say, oh, so that's an emotion that my parent feels. Say,
Mhm.
okay, so do you also feel that?
Yeah.
And then they kind of, when they start seeing this,
Yeah.
you role model this, and then you ask them, how are you feeling?
Mm.
Gradually there's a less likelihood that you will continue to hear the boring, fun, whatever.
Okay.
It
They'll
is not
start
a,
switching. They'll,
they will.
yeah.
But it's an exercise, and it is something that we need to bring in for ourselves
Okay.
and for them. So it could be starting, you can, again, gamifying it and making it like this is quite interesting. You do it every dinner time or every meal time that you're all
Yeah.
together. Kind of check in and bring your emotion. It's not, if you start saying good, I hear a lot of kids say, how are we? Good. And then my next question, and you've noticed that I keep asking the kids when we're about what is good, what is
Yeah.
fun.
Hmm.
So kind of just ask that
Yeah.
to get them to start asking. You may not get the answer, but the
Hmm.
very fact that you ask the question
Yeah.
triggers something in them.
In them. Okay.
Yeah. So it is not, this exercise is not about getting the right answer.
Okay.
It's about getting them to think. And eventually, what do you want for them? You want them to be able to express what they're feeling,
Yeah.
come to you when they're not feeling okay,
Yeah.
or approach anybody in whatever space they are.
Yeah.
They need to be able to check in with themselves and not just hear fun, boring, good,
Hmm.
whatever. Yeah. So it is, so don't get attached to the answer,
Okay.
but ask the question and express yourself.
Okay. So what do you
And
think about journaling then? Would that
journaling
also
is a
work?
fantastic exercise. I'm a oh my God, I'm a journaling enthusiast. So you will switch on something in my brain if you talk about journaling, because it's an extremely cool exercise. It's something that, and it requires time and it requires self-discipline. But it is an exercise that it helps anyone just express. And journaling can be done in many ways. It can
Yeah.
just be about writing the facts of the day,
Mhm.
or it can be about your feelings of the facts of the day.
Yeah.
And the third part of journaling is reflecting on that.
Mm.
So there are three aspects of journaling, and you can keep switching between the two, between
Yeah.
the three. But I think the very important part is to reflect. The third part is very important.
Okay.
Reflect, oh, this happened last week or last year, and this is how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And then you begin to see how you have grown, or how you, if the same situation comes, how you're reacting differently now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So journaling is a fantastic exercise, and I encourage everyone to do it. So I've moved from writing. So a lot of people ask me, should we sit and write? So I've moved from writing to, I have now an app on my phone, and I journal. It's a photo journal. I talk to it because of
Oh, really?
technology.
Oh,
I've kind of I've kind of embedded technology, so I can also write on it. And
yeah.
so a lot of things on that. And then I still write. I still write in certain ways. Do I write as much as I would do before? Not really, I must admit. But there's no one right way. Whatever
Okay.
works.
Yeah. As long as you're getting your feelings they're not bottled in and they're being
Yeah.
expressed, right?
As long as they're being expressed, I think
Yeah.
there's no right way. And to get kids also to do it, no better gift that you can give them.
That's true. Yeah. But they all don't really like writing, I think. But
Yeah. So for kids, there's also the older kids. There are apps that I use, one that I've been using now diligently for the last 5 years. So I think that app has evolved with me.
with you,
Uh,
okay.
oh, I
What is
wish I
the
could
app called?
the name.
Yeah.
The name of the app is it's called Day One.
Day one. Okay.
DAY.
Yeah. Because someone is asking, yeah, what app
Yeah,
is it? Okay, great.
yeah, yeah. So it's called Day One. It's a
Okay.
very simple one. I'll
Okay.
just put it down on the. It's something that has worked for me, and I've used it diligently for six
Okay.
years. And it's got huge, lot of capabilities, and
Yeah.
it's great.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's what, we all know that we have to be mindful and in the present. We hear so much, but when we are going through some form of stress and anxiety and wonder what the future holds, like what can we lean into, when we have days where things don't go as planned? How do we what do we do?
Uh, there's no one mantra for sure. So a lot
Yeah.
of things we've discussed over, like checking in with yourself is very, very important. Like
Okay,
learn to
so
check in,
okay,
keep checking in.
checking in with yourself.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's,
that's for me.
ask
Yeah.
yourself, how are you feeling? Like I've got this vocabulary. Actually, I have a printout that has all the emotions that, not all, but there's an emotional wheel. And I could
Okay.
send it to you if you want to kind of send it
Okay.
across as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. So it just expand your vocabulary for yourself and
Okay.
your family. So that's
Okay.
one thing that you can do.
All right.
Consciously bring that in.
Yeah.
The second thing is, I believe in self-expression. So there's some ways, so like we talked about, journaling is one way
Yeah.
to express yourself.
Yeah.
The other way is to find some way. So theater, dance, music,
Okay.
painting, any of these are just ways to express yourself. It
Yes.
is not about getting the best painting or getting the best acting, or it's none of that. But these things help you bring out something that normally you wouldn't.
Mm.
It just would, like, for example, I love dancing, and I keep that that part of me. It's just a passion, it's a hobby.
Yeah.
But there I kind of, I'm able to be somebody that in a daily life I'm able to bring on characters that I've never played, like you saw, right? I've
Yeah.
played.
What type of dance is that you?
I do Bharatanatyam and
Bharat.
Kuchipudi,
Okay.
but I just love any form of dance. So I've
Okay.
learned salsa, cha cha cha, and all
Okay.
of that.
Anything.
I,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've
it's
only
about,
seen you do really like um
yes. I
like
do.
Bharatanatyam type. Yeah, I've
Yes,
not seen
yes.
you do
I've done
anything else.
contemporary.
Yeah.
I do theater, so I do improv theater, because that's
Okay.
another thing that helps you. Improv theater is
Yeah.
something that helps you be in the moment. So if anybody gets a chance to get into improv theater,
Yeah, I think I've heard of this. Yeah.
yes, yes, there are
So
lots
you
available.
just decide to be a different character, right? At that moment, and you just improvise. Is that what it is? Oh,
Yes, yes. And it is very different where you create something from the audience. Like, say the audience tells, okay, now this is a situation that you have.
okay.
You're in a wrestling ground and you're a wrestler, and start. And you create
Okay.
a story from there. So you
Yeah.
kind of become, you need to be so present in the moment for
Yeah.
improv theater. It's not funny. It's like probably the best way to be in the moment, because you have nowhere else. You just have to
Yeah.
be there, and
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
know what the next thing the audience is going to throw.
Going to tell you to do. Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
and you just
Okay.
go with the flow and just
Yeah.
do it, do it, do it, do it. At the end of it, you feel so like there's something that just releases in you.
Yeah.
It's the best way to just stay completely present. Like,
Okay.
there's nowhere else that you can be.
Yeah,
Um,
that's funny because last time my speaker was a singer, and she said you have to be present, for that, because if you want to sing and you can't think of anything else, there's nothing else that you can think of if you want to sing a particular line or a song or something. So this is all going along, and even my first speaker was also into mindfulness yoga and a lot of mindfulness. So yeah, this is really
yeah, so
great to see a
all of that
different
is there.
aspect. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's about dipping into any of this. And the reason I talk about improv theater is because that when you talk about dance and painting and all of that, there's an association with the end product. Like, I don't know how
Yeah.
to draw very well, or I'm
Okay.
not a
I see.
dancer, I've got two left feet. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't sing very well.
Yeah.
Whatever. There's always an association with the end product. But in
Okay.
improv, there is, or
Yeah.
I've also heard people say that no, I can't meditate. It's difficult. But you
Mm.
know what? It's not about sitting and cross-legged and closing your eyes. For me, I when I dance, I meditate.
Yeah.
When I'm doing theater and improv, I meditate. So
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
just completely being present.
Mm.
It's very different. So it's just another way. I mean, if anybody wants to kind of try the hand at it, because you don't need to
Yeah.
be good at acting. You just need to just be there present and enjoy
Yeah.
yourself.
Nice. Yeah, because I think during this time, during these COVID times, I think a lot of people have found some solace in either baking or, like you
Yeah.
said, painting. And I think I learned to do mandala art because I got inspired by you. And I had never done mandala art, but when you said you had never done it and anyone can do it, and I said, okay, let me try. So I got
Yes, yes, I was.
inspired, and it was quite meditative as
It
well.
was, right? Yeah, because at that time, last year, I was like, oh my God, I need to do something. And I wanted my mind to kind of get channelized. So I
Yeah.
started mandala art. Now, if you asked me, I was like, I've never tried it. I don't think I'm great at, like, saying, I'll be like, oh, drawing. Well, no, no, everybody else can do it. I can't do it. I'm not sure. But I wasn't doing it for anybody else. So I said, okay, let me try. And I just started doing it. I'm like, oh my God. So the very fact that I was involved in it,
Yeah.
the end result didn't matter.
Yeah.
It just didn't matter.
That's what happened with me. Of course, I kept asking my daughter, "How does it look? How does it look?" So my family is very tired of me asking that. And they're like, "Yeah, it's fine." But I did keep wanting to know like how I was surprised myself that I could do this mandala art. I never knew that I could
Yes, so
really
that's
do it.
another thing
Yeah.
that for anybody who's never tried it, just try. And it's a phase and it's okay. It doesn't mean that if I try mandala art, I do it every day or every week.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's a phase,
Mm.
and be okay with that part of you that says,
Yeah.
oh, I love doing it now. I enjoy it. And maybe in another 3 weeks or another 3 months, you might want something else.
Yeah.
The point is, the invitation rather is to find something to
Mm.
express yourself.
Yes. Okay.
That's the
That's
main
it.
objective. So have that in the mind, and then you'll something will come to you. The
Will come.
universe will
Yeah.
give you something.
Yeah. Yeah. Drupa says amazing learning points. Thank you. Yeah. So actually, this is a good time. If anyone has any questions for Bindu, you can ask it on the chat. Um, but in the meantime, yeah, it's just so nice to catch up. And yeah, do you want to tell everyone how we met or
No,
anything?
you start. You start. You say.
Well, no, I mean, there's not like any big story there, but it's just that we got assigned to be co-Palvihar gurus with with Drupa actually, and Sabina. So we were four of us initially until it became just three of us. But just how we were like, we didn't know each other at all, and we had to figure out, we had to plan so much in advance, and how things change, like you said, no planning involved now. This time now we do everything week by week. But it was just like we were two people, we didn't know each other, and it took us a while to actually get in sync with each other. And now like we have a nice rapport, and it's nice. We have a lot in common, and we have a lot we can
True,
discuss.
true. And I think what the beautiful thing was that it was about two people getting together and not having nothing in common, right?
Yeah.
Nothing in common, and figuring out the balance. Like we were like, okay, get to know, get to know, get to know, and
Yeah.
we all can find that out. It's about letting go of our own. It has to be this way, and my
Say,
ego and
yeah.
my this and being really open. And I think you and I, the way we've connected is a clear representation that we can connect with people who we just don't know and just like get together and have such a beautiful relationship as we with the acceptance
Yeah.
and you thinking like, oh my god, this girl's so crazy, and I'm like, okay, Sanam, I'm sorry.
Really think that, but it's just like we kept butting heads with the ideas. It wasn't like flowing first,
Yeah.
and then I think we started, all both of us letting go and then trying to find that balance, like you said. So
Yeah, it's actually learning a
yeah,
lot from
actually,
you.
sorry,
Yeah.
Sabina also says been a lovely journey with you both.
Yes, Sabina, lots of love to you
Dhruva
too.
also said, very inspirational. You ladies made the talk so light and enjoyable, fun too.
Thank
And
you, thank you,
yes,
thank you.
Karina also said, 1 minute. Yeah, so positive, really enjoyed it. So it's
Lovely,
been
lovely.
nice. It doesn't look like we have any
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
So I think you did an amazing job then in
I don't
answering
know.
questions of everybody's.
And as long as I could be a medium for you and I could be a medium
Yeah,
to get others or any of us to kind of step up and inspire,
yeah,
that's it. That's all we, I think, need to kind of aim for, just
yeah,
one person at a time. And this conversation, honestly, has been a milestone in both of our kind of
yeah.
knowing each other in connection,
Exactly.
right?
It's like we've got this
Yeah.
chance to get to know each other even better through this.
Yes. So I'm very grateful. I'm really, really grateful.
Okay, wait, I have a question. Just one quick question from Mickey. What do you do when you are feeling low?
Mhm.
Is the
Okay.
question. Yeah.
It depends now, because I can be very generic, where I would need to know a little more.
Okay.
But in general, it's what we've actually already spoken about, Sanam. It's about, see, when we're feeling low, two things that Thank you. Thank you, Tara. So
Yes.
two things that ends up normally happening, and I'm being very general because low is a very general kind of a statement. So it would
Yeah.
be very wrong on my part to give a general kind of a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Uh, Two things that we normally do is when we feel low is there's a guilt that hits us saying that why am I feeling so low? So there is that part that comes in, and then and then we brood about it. We're like, oh my god, okay, why am I feeling low? I need to pick myself up, and that kind of conversation comes in. Or we say, we kind of blame. There's a blame, there's guilt, all of that comes in. But
Okay.
what we can do is exactly what we said. So when we check in and give a bigger label than low,
Okay.
really work on
What
what
it
is
is.
what
Okay.
is it.
Go deeper with the feeling.
It's very important
Okay.
because low is very generic and it's for all of us, and we
Yeah.
all go through it. It's not about saying I should always be positive and I should
Yeah.
always feel happy. No, it's not. Then we're living in a very a fictitious world or a
Yeah.
fantasy
Of
world.
course. Yeah.
But it's about saying, accepting, okay, I'm sad or I'm frustrated or somebody's annoying me or some. It's about really nailing something of your value has been stepped on. And that's why we feel not okay. If everybody is aligned or the world is aligned to our values and we're living our values, we're fine. But if somebody steps on it is when we're not happy. So it could anger us, frustrate us, annoy us. It could do a lot of things and go to the extreme of being depressing or rage. It could range. So where is it? We need to find that. That's why it's very important to check in, teach
Okay.
ourselves and our children to check in. And
Okay.
once we know where we are, then we can tackle it. But that's something very specific to what we're facing. But I
Okay.
think step one is to find out where is this low.
Okay. All right. So I hope that answered your question, Mickey.
And I'm happy to kind of have a
To go
conversation
deep.
on as
Yeah,
well.
sure. Um, and so we got a few more comments. Enjoyed the talk thoroughly from LP Chablani, my parents. From Nikita, Nitika, sorry, thank you. It was a great talk. And let's see, Bindhu is a very articulate and inspiring
Thank you,
and
Tara.
positive person. From Tara, enjoyed her thoughts. From Leela, really enjoyable. Keep up the good work, ladies. Lovely. Take back from my sister Karuna is staying in the present. And Tara says, enjoyed your talk immensely. Keep it up. And yes, okay, so Mickey said thank you so much, and Priyal says thank you. So I think before we end, I just because I just wanted to say how amazing and talented you are, and keep inspiring people during these uncertain times, and I hope all of us listening to you can get just as inspired to find our self-expression and something we can lean into also. So I just wanted everyone to know that you can follow Bindhu Unny on Instagram under the name Create Impact 2. And you can join her workshop. She has a few workshops, and you can listen to her inspiring conversations with different speakers on different topics. And she even does personal coaching too. So if anything, you can follow her. And if anyone wants any more information, you can get in touch with me. But I just wanted to end. Is there anything else you wanted to say before I end?
I'm very thankful, Sanam, that you even started this whole platform. I think it's important. So do keep up the good work.
Thank you.
It's something that I'm like, wow, yes, Sanam, do it. It's great to keep doing it, keep smiling, keep spreading the word. And yeah, if anybody does want to come for any workshops, I'm really open to it because I really feel that this world at this point of time needs these kind of sessions. So please feel free to spread the word, spread the work as well. And
Great.
keep going, Sanam.
Thank
Totally great work.
No, it's really great. Even my audience has been amazing. All my viewers, I want to thank you all really so much. It's been so nice. But I want to end by giving a quote of Shakespeare. All the world is a stage, And the divine mystery is revealed little by little, step by step. It is like an action-packed thriller movie where the suspense is dispelled only after you sit through the entire movie. We have to act the role well and receive his applause when the curtain falls. So let's try our best to use the tools we have learned today and do our part in this movie called life and leave the rest to God. As Baba says, love my uncertainty. Thank you all for joining in this conversation and has truly helped me in my soul searching journey because it's also been my journey. So that's been amazing. And God bless you all and stay safe. And we shall pray for everybody and who is going through any difficult times, during these times. But at the end, we just have to, I guess, surrender and love the uncertainty. So we can do as much as we can. We try our best and then leave the rest to God, I guess.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sanam.
No, thank you. So I will be logging off now. And I hope I don't know if I was able to read everybody's messages on the chat.
Thank you, Raki.
All. Yeah, Shanta, my mom-in-law says, thank you, keep it up. Raki says, this was such a light and casual conversation with depth. Thank you. So, but that's great. So I will be logging off now. See you guys. Stay tuned for the next one coming up soon. Okay. Someone wants to ask a question?
Yeah. We can probably stop the